In this Podslice summary of the Club Random podcast, Bill Maher and Ron Perlman discuss the 1981 film Quest for Fire, which Perlman starred in. They touch on the subject of evolution as well as prehistory and various theories revolving around early humanity. At the start of the conversation, they greet each other warmly and mention Perlman's earlier roles, how he seems to have gotten handsomer as he has aged, and the actor's recent quit from smoking cigars. Perlman recalls incredibly visual memories from the movie's premiere, which took place at Radio City Musical and Ziegfeld Theater in New York, both of which he considers to be his favorite venues for movies. Perlman expresses admiration for Bill Maher's ability to engage in intellectual and entertaining conversations on camera with a variety of guests. Maher emphasizes that his interest in prehistory dates back to 1981 when he saw Quest for Fire, a movie that portrays the story of early humans who relied on fire for survival. Noting that human species are approximately 200,000 years old, Maher believes that fire was discovered around 300,000 BC, and that cooking has even played a vital role in brain expansion, which has consequently led to the human brain's larger size. The discussion diverts to Perlman's experiences working with French director Jean-Jacques Annaud. Perlman expresses his admiration for Annaud's intellectual curiosity and recounts his collaborations with him on films such as 7 Years in Tibet and the bear-themed film Brothers. Perlman further mentions Annaud's most recent work, a film about the burning of Notre Dame that will depict real firemen's performances. Most importantly, the host and guest discuss the historical accuracy of how humans first discovered fire. They agree with the movie's premise, where Perlman's character group crosses the Pyrenees to a warming climate, which contemplates that human evolution and technological development are linked to the prevailing climate. In the film, a woman from a more advanced tribe teaches them the ignition of fire, hinting at gender roles in prehistoric times. The podcast conversation continues to explore complex ideas concerning historical evolution, archaeological findings, and film manifestations of these concepts, while offering deep insights and fascinating anecdotes about Perlman's long-acting career. Continuing the discussion, Maher and Perlman recall shooting the film Asher, where Perlman played the role of a hitman. They remember warmly their co-star, renowned actor Richard Dreyfuss. Both Maher and Perlman appreciate Dreyfuss for his lucid performances and his memorable contribution to the entertainment industry. This ushers in a bit of nostalgia as Maher recalls Dreyfuss's involvement in the 200th anniversary celebration of the Constitution in 1987, where Maher appeared alongside the famed actor in an impactful television special. Perlman opens up about his experiences running a production company for 5 years. With a dose of humor, Perlman talks about his financial misfortunes in the movie landscape, equating Hollywood to a resilient cat that has been declared dead many times, yet still keeps going. A subtly profound commentary on the resilience and ongoing evolution of cinema. The conversation focuses on technological paradigms and the ever-evolving nature of the film industry. They mention renowned filmmaker Billy Wilder's award-winning speech in 1986, where he prophetically talks about the looming introduction of smartphones and AI and their potential impact on cinema. But despite the technological turmoil and cultural shifts, Wilder's reassuring message resonates still today. Even though new technologies might alter the landscape, filmmakers have an enduring power and glory in their hands. Perlman and Maher then revisit their earlier discussion about the 1981 film Quest for Fire. They analyze the film's portrayal of human evolution and interbreeding between different Homo species and how it is reflected in Perlman's character's interactions with the character portrayed by Ray Dawn Chong. Maher and Perlman also open up about their personal experiences and anecdotes. Maher talks about his Irish roots, as researched for the Finding Your Roots PBS series, reveling in his grandfather's powerful legacy as a union leader. Perlman, with his well-known sense of humor, jests about being cast in Quest for Fire due to his Neanderthalic features, about which he and Maher share a few laughs. Gradually, the conversation shifts towards the business side of the entertainment industry as Maher gives a shout-out to small business owners and mentions ZipRecruiter. The podcast then diverts into a conversation about audio marketing and has a promotional segment for radioactive media, showing the diverse range captured within the podcast's content. Back on the discussion about artistry, Perlman and Maher express their belief that creativity and genius are enduring, unchanging qualities that artists possess throughout different eras. They discuss the various mediums through which artists have been expressing their brilliance, from playwriting to music composing to cinema, reflecting their deep appreciation for diverse artistic expressions. They state that while the socioeconomic circumstances and platforms of expression may vary with time, the core creative genius remains a persistent force throughout history. Delving further into their chat, the hosts share their perspectives on how the film industry has evolved over the decades and the influence technology has had on it. Perlman delves into the transition filmmakers made from cinema to television, eulogizing it as the golden era of TV. The transition was a response to dwindling movie audiences, driven by an upsurge in low-quality, mass-produced films and the remodeling of cinema into an amusement park of sequels and superhero films, he explains. Yet Maher and Perlman acknowledge the resilience of cinema. They discuss the compelling narratives writers brought to TV when they pivoted to this medium, breathing life into cable networks such as FX. The hosts attribute the declination of the film industry and the shift of writers to TV to the commercial dynamics of the market. Where the money was, the writers followed. They delve into a lively discussion about the golden age of the film industry. Maher makes an interesting observation about the Oscars, facetiously suggesting renaming them the Debbies for their trend towards dreary, hyper-serious films. He seems to argue that cinema has moved away from its primary motive to entertain and provoke thought towards a lecturing tone. Perlman shares Maher's nostalgia for the yesteryears of cinema, referring to the 30s, 40s, and the 70s as the golden age of cinema. These were the times when the industry balanced commercial viability and artistry, allowing talented storytellers to thrive. A turn in the conversation occurs when they reflect on their time at the iconic Trader Vic's bar in L.A. Perlman recounts his experiences in a humorous, lighthearted way, depicting the bar as a relic of a wilder, less health-conscious past. He candidly discusses adapting to the aging process and how it has drastically reduced his drinking habits and affected his vitality, leading to a shared laugh between him and Maher. Perlman also shares some insights on the robust roles he has played, notably in the film Asher, where he played a hitman. Maher argues about the lack of imagination in Hollywood to create novel ways to compromise a character's morale, pointing out the ubiquity of hitman roles. Perlman counters, highlighting the popularity of characters who control their own destiny, and admits the tricky business of ensuring that the audience sees every single one of the hitman's victims as deserving of death. Perlman's acknowledgement of such moral ambiguity reflects on Hollywood's complex relationship with anti-hero narratives. Bill Maher and Ron Perlman continue their enriching conversation, steering it towards the monotonous narrative patterns in Hollywood. They humorously note the trend of hit thriller movies getting sequels where fundamentally the same catastrophic event happens again. Maher comments on films like Taken and Die Hard, which fall into this pattern. Perlman brings forth the concept of artificial intelligence, and they banter about AI's potential role in Hollywood, jesting about how AI could rapidly churn out sequel narratives, given that they mostly seem like minor variations of previous ones. They humorously consider the absurdity of a possible Titanic 2. Maher and Perlman then reflect on author William Goldman's analysis of Hollywood, particularly referencing his book, Adventures in the Screen Trade. Goldman's famous quote, "Nobody knows anything," rings especially true to them. The phrase encapsulates the capricious and unpredictable nature of success in the film industry, from the choosing of scripts by big names to the making of a profitable and well-received film. They discuss William Goldman's catalog of successful films, including Butch Cassidy, The Sting, and The Princess Bride. The hosts share experiences about working on movie sets where daily shots seemed perfect, only to see them end up as disjointed and underwhelming sequences in the final cut. They both agree that the odds of making a successful movie are minuscule, with Perlman noting that around 400 pairs of hands touch a film before it is finished, indicating the manifold variables at play. Their conversation takes a lighthearted turn as they discuss the very human necessity of bathroom breaks, underpinned by Perlman's references to aging. The pair chuckle over Richard Dreyfuss setting an endurance record for podcast guest appearances, which they feel no pressure to beat due to their age. They conclude their enriching discussion on a warm and friendly note, looking forward to future encounters. Check out the full podcast by clicking the link in the description below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for listening to this podcast summary episode of the Pod Slice.